Hello, always wonderful to be with you on this particular platform, the conversation. Because the truth is, this place will look at what is happening around this society, community, country, globally, and we pick on one or two of them, we masticate it, and we also, very importantly, ensure that we proffer solutions. Now, that does not give us spirit of entitlement to just walk into your home. Yes, I've just told you the topic. Spirit of entitlement. So I'll just tell you that it's my pleasure to have you welcome me in your home, in your office, wherever you're watching. My name is Elizabeth Abaye and the show is Conversations. And we have all the ladies dressed up, looking beautiful and ready to talk. Coach Didi.
Yes, sir. Good morning. My name is Maimuna Omi Abdullah, Coach Didi.
Okay.
My name is Deva Hamati, your mom, and it's good to be here this morning.
Good morning. My name is Joel Panachi. It's always good to be on Conversations.
All right. When I sent out the promos to you, I was nice and very particular in saying it will be my pleasure to have you. As much as I know that I can tell you, you have to come. Because I didn't want you to say you're sending something and you're doing a different thing. Spirit of entitlement. I don't know if you've had the experience before, but one particular one that hits me is a bit of what you saw in the promo. Somebody who was begging for money and money was given to him and he felt he wasn't good enough and he threw it away. But before we get all that, let's get to find out if other people have experienced this. Then we come back and talk.
Generally, I think nobody should feel entitled to anybody's time, money, or influence, or maybe attachment, because we live in a very crazy world and things are not like it used to be before. So normally before, people would want to help you just because they can, or they just want to help you just because they feel sympathy for you. But now things are becoming too hard, even for the big men or even for the big shots. It's becoming too hard for them too.
Somebody coming to me for a need is simply asking for help and not a right. And whatsoever is within my power to give to that person, I will give.
Sometimes you don't even know what the person went through to put that thing in place. So now say you are entitled to it, or how people used to feel entitled to someone's money, like my uncle should give me this. You don't know the stress the person went through, and the person have other responsibilities too.
I see the person as not being understanding, trying to collect what you have in this kind of economical situation. It's not right. As I see it as not what is proper at all.
Sometimes, if they think that they are entitled to your things, let it not be every time. Yes, some people, they are your relation or your son or your any brother or so. You just try to explain to them that yes, I can give you something, and sometimes don't just say that you are entitled to do my thing. Maybe ask my consent first.
What I have is mine, so I don't think anybody is entitled to my own possession. If I wish to give anybody what I have, then you politely ask and I will give it to you. But you can't just force me to and come to meet me without talking to me politely and just say, can I have this, can I have this? It's to my own wish to give you what I have.
It is no one has right over what I have. It's mine and mine alone. So if I wish to give you freely, then I give. But not as if you start claiming as if you are one. Even my parents ask for things before they take from me. So nobody is entitled to what I have.
It's your money, but he has the authority to say, go and meet Mr. A to give you this. Take example of school fee. There are instances where one's daddy will ask maybe an extended relation, go and meet this because he knew you have the means. Go and tell him to give you this. He might have gone there to complain to him that, oh, I don't have this. And authoritatively, he will tell the person, go and meet this. And that's an attachment to another person's resources. That's my own opinion, as it were. That it has been so right from time immemorial. But poverty and the economic situations today had made it more worse, as it were.
right. It was quite interesting, watching that bit, but at the same time, very saddening that we have moved from a certain, pedestal. Instead of going up, we're actually going down. I don't know. Depends on where you're looking at it from. We used to condemn spirit of begging.
Yeah.
That is not our culture. Now we are begging with authority. That's the spirit of entitlement.
Arrogance.
We're begging with arrogance. You give somebody money out of your pockets. Bros, make una go chop breakfast. It is gifts. The person sits in front of you and counts it. Those are the kind of people that actually take money from ATM and then they count it to
Oh, I
confirm
do.
if it's-
I do.
You count
But
money.
It's like I'm on auto. When you collect money from the teller, you stand there and count it. So when I get money out of the ATM, it's just something I do automatically.
You start counting it.
I just start counting
To
it.
be sure
I
the
step to
machine
the
didn't
side
cheat
and
you.
start counting it. I can't help
Because
it.
sometimes some might be left.
No, actually nothing is left, but it's just something I do on auto. I get my money, I stand by the side and start counting it. I can't help it.
Okay. Now, have you ever had this experience, where somebody calls you and say, please, auntie, I need money for ABCD, blah, blah. Sorry, I had to flash you. She actually flashed and you called and he explains to you. You send the money to the person, perhaps even buys recharge card for the person. To say thank you, if the person remembers to say thank you, the person will flash you back or flash you the second time and you call back. He says, auntie, sorry, I was just calling to say thank you. I got the recharge card. Isn't it annoying?
You see, the scenario you're painting now, you're painting a scenario that they flashed you back. What of the scenario of them not calling you back?
And then you call and I say, okay, I got it too. Sorry, I did not.
That's it. It keeps happening and happening. What drives me nuts is people don't tend to call you
until when they need something.
I always tell people that the way I'm wired, I will chat with you for like a month, because I've noticed that if you want something in December, you have to start working for it from January.
Mm-hmm.
So start the relationship, call the person up, greet the person. It's easier to ask. Even with that process, most of the time you're still rejected.
Mm-hmm.
So it saddens my heart where you give somebody something, and I've realized that they say, okay, please lend me this certain amount. And I've realized that there's no need lending them the money they asked for. Anything you have, give, and know that.
Write it off.
That's it. And for me, it has worked. Because lending people money,
it never comes back.
Mm-hmm. And you start having, and when you ask, if I had it, I would have given back.
Honestly.
The attitude, the arrogance, the self-entitlement of people just says that after all, you ask people and they help you. No. So why would I ask you and you wouldn't help me?
That one is even better, sir. A situation where somebody will say, she's rich, she doesn't need the money.
And that's where I think the problem comes from. Let me quickly share an experience I had. This happened to me when I had just started working with the NTA. There's this perception people have that because you appear on TV, you have money.
On-air personality.
Now,
yes.
you're a bloody civil servant at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And
let me just remind you, when you appear on air, you have less money because you're spending a lot of money on your clothes, on your hair. So there's nothing really left to save. So go ahead.
That's the perception you think. But for we that see you guys outside, we think that NTA funds you guys. So please don't blame people.
Anyway, I had just started working with NTA at the time. I served, was retained. At the time, my salary was something in the region of 3,000 naira,
3,
which
000.
Even if you take it today, that would be that was 98. Wow. Now that would be like maybe 30,000 or 28,000. Something. It was stupid. It was stupid money. I mean, let's be frank. It was barely funding my transportation. I'll be very blunt. And somebody who was my teacher in secondary school came to Abuja and was in a bad place and came to look for me at NTA. This person didn't know that my entire salary for the month was 3,000 naira. And I didn't tell the person that this person was really, really in need. And he was kind to me when he was a teacher in secondary school. This person will never know that I ran around and begged and borrowed money from anybody I could get a hold of and got 5,000 naira.
Wow.
Jesus.
Put it together and gave it to this man, and he looked at it as if I gave him if I gave him poop. I wanted to die. Because the man is not related to me. I'm talking secondary school, so this was a gap of like at least maybe some 7-8 years later. It wasn't somebody I was constantly in touch with, but I figured that for this man to come to me, he must be in a very, very bad state. This is something I don't do for myself. As a person, if I'm in need, I don't run around begging and borrowing. I manage myself. Yeah. If I borrow it from very close relatives, I give you a date of when I'm going to pay you back. If that day is approaching and I don't have the money, I let you know in good time that I promised you I'd pay you this money at the end of the month. Something has happened. I will not be able to pay it, but please give me another 2 weeks and I'll pay you back. I do not recall, there's nobody I know that I've borrowed money from with the intention of paying back that I haven't paid back. And if I'm not in a position to pay you back, I tell you why. So, but I put myself to great pains, ran around, begged, borrowed this money, put it together, gave it to this man with respect in an envelope. And he sneered when he collected that money. It was like I felt stabbed. But I didn't, what was I going to say? You are not appreciating my money.
The next person, unfortunately,
collect your money back.
Unfortunately, the next person that is going to come to you
will suffer it.
The consequences
no,
of that.
I'm not like that.
Really?
I'm not like that. I take people on a case-by-case basis.
Fantastic.
I don't visit the sins of one person on another person.
Fantastic.
Oh, you did this. Emeka did this to me, so definitely Peter is going to bear the brunt of it. I don't live my life that way. But that was what that person did to me.
That's a good one.
It's sad because
it's just one of many instances, but this one really cut me deep because I practically humiliated myself to get money and give him. I don't do that for myself.
You know, what angers me is we talk as if it's just happening within offices, within the larger society. Family. Within the home, which is the smallest unit. That's worse. Unit. The entitlement spirit is heavy. From the husband to the wife, from the wife to the husband, and from the parents to the children to parents. Everybody feels entitled. The man feels it's his right to wake up in the morning and not dress bed. It's his right to go and pee and not flush the toilet. It's his right to sit down on the table and food appears. At the end of the day, the woman complains. Both of you are possibly working, or the woman is a full-time housewife, whatever it is. What's wrong with helping out a little? And the man will tell you, I pay for your bills.
It's culture.
You just hit it.
It's basically
it's
culture.
culture.
I pay the bills.
No,
it's basically
it's
culture.
culture.
And I think, you see,
it's culture.
Every person is made up of a mindset, and your mindset is governed by 3 things: your upbringing, your environment, and then significant emotional events that have happened to you.
What about your personality?
What of culture?
That's your mindset. Your personality is your mindset.
Okay.
So your upbringing is your culture.
Okay.
Your environment is also your culture. So, and the thing is, you've grown up in a certain environment, and this is the way things have been done. This is the way you grew up seeing it being done by your father, by your uncles, by everyone. And then you get married. Things have changed. You don't notice that. Now, you probably marry a woman from a different environment, but you still expect that this is what my mother did. This is what my sisters did, my aunts did. So it takes unlearning them.
Because your father did not flush toilet, you will not flush toilet. What kind of rubbish is that?
Well, not just the flushing toilet. I think by nature, our men are raised to be entitled. Let's be honest about it.
Very true.
Our men have been raised to be entitled, to be respected, to be adored. They are demigods.
No, to be worshipped.
Thank you. So it's something that, they have to unlearn it for those who are actually intentional about it.
Yeah.
But being entitled, I think we're all entitled. When you sent me the clip, I sat down and I was thinking about it. I said, okay, entitled. Because I talk about this in schools when I talk to young children, because you see this generation of kids we have, they are so entitled. They deserve every good thing life can offer, but they don't need to earn it. They don't have to work
And
hard
they
for it at
don't
all.
need to do anything in return.
At
You
all.
know, they should just
You know?
exist.
So that,
and
that
be
is
worshipped.
something that has been going on and on and on. And then these children will become parents someday. So for them, you have to unlearn it. It's about being intentional. This norms, this culture is a part of your life. But if you decide, okay, I don't want to be like this. I want to be a different kind of man or a different kind of woman, because we also haven't. I act like I was saying. I just thought I'm also entitled to an extent. We all have a
We
sense
all
of
have it to a
entitlement,
certain
but there is
degree.
toxic entitlement and there is healthy one.
Yeah.
I believe I am. No, I have a right to be respected. I should be respected. I have a right to be loved, and I should love us well. But the toxic one is when you feel everybody is nothing. You are one special person.
Exactly.
And you don't need to work hard to earn the things that other people earn. And every good thing should come to you first. Then the crumbs can go to other people. Now that's the one we should talk about. But being entitled, we are all entitled to an extent. If you are married, you feel entitled to your husband at some point. The husbands feel the same way as well. The kids feel. But I think we have to be careful
what I
which
think
type.
is, when it comes to relationship, like the husband and wife relationship we talked about, let's even start from there before we trickle down to the children. If your wife is, in the good habit of ensuring, domestically speaking, your house is ready for you to use, and you're also providing for that woman as much as you can, or as is inscripted in different holy books, the man who does not provide for his family is worse than an infidel. So if you're not that infidel, the husband or the wife should never take it for granted that this man is providing. That's me talking. Whenever he does something nice to you, please remember to say, thank you, darling. This is wonderful.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I know you may be expecting it. He may come back from work, buys you a packet of biscuits. Oh, that's why I like you. You never forget to buy me small things that make me happy. You have made the man feel good. The woman cooks for you, cleans your house. You go to the bathroom to bath. By the time you're out, she has stretched your bed, and you pretend you didn't notice it. That's wrong now. You should appreciate the woman. This woman, if I come next world again, I will marry you again. Each time you come around, my house changes. Even if you can do it, and once in a while you could say, okay, darling, sit down, let me do this for you. You're laughing.
You know why I'm laughing? Because I'm living in the real world. In Nigeria, a woman will lay bed, and
Say thank you.
and say thank you.
For what now?
Look, let's be real.
Say thank you for
See,
everything.
It's not going to work.
Say thank you for a
It's not.
good plate
It
of
is not
meal.
going to work.
Once in a while.
It is
I
not going to
remember say
work.
that.
Look,
Not
let me
every
tell
day.
you. We're Nigerians. The only thing that I always imagine is that when Nigerians go somewhere else and they go abroad,
They behave differently.
they behave differently. That's the way we're wired in this
Those
country.
men now, when you say thank you to them
Yeah.
for providing,
Uh-huh.
do they enjoy it?
Of course not.
Because, excuse
why
me,
can't they say
like
thank
you
you for
said,
the
he's
services?
there.
They do say thank
the
you.
man is the one that is supposed to fend for his family. It's not for the woman to fend for the family.
So the woman should
When
not
the
thank
woman
you.
starts fending for the family, then the roles are changed. So the man has to now start telling the woman, thank you for doing this, thank you for doing that. Let me use my brother as an example. I know he's going to kill me. My brother got married and went abroad. And my mom went for Mugwo. I was there as well. And you know how the thing is when you're abroad. The lady is baiting the children, the blah, 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 blah. And she said, oh, please, can you check the stuff for me? She was cooking. And my brother snapped. Why? Because he came from a tradition where men don't cook. There's certain things that men do, and there's certain things that women do. Guess what? It was a bit of a battle. But you see, my mom had to sit him down and talk to him. So now the main problem we're having is parenting. Like they say, like the fruit does not fall far from the tree. If you do not train your children in the way they should grow, when they grow, what do you expect?
Going to what you said,
Yes.
if parents are, relating with themselves at home,
Yeah.
and they do not know how to, appreciate one another for, good job, good services rendered,
Yeah.
children learn more
Yes.
by
By
watching
what
they see,
and what you say.
Yes.
So if my father is not going to tell my mother, thank you for this lovely plate of meal, who am I to tell my mother, thank you for cooking?
So why don't the mothers teach their kids?
Thank you.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
the mothers
can
will
teach their kids.
teach. The husband also will be part of it. Like you said, it's parents.
It's
One person does
parenting.
not make a child.
Yeah.
So why the children will always watch, what you're doing and copy it. So we should learn to make our children appreciate every single thing we give to them. Every single service we give to them. And we too, on our own, when our children clean properly, when our children do things, they go extra mile to do it. Let's say thank you for the regular ones, a big thank you for the ones they've done extra mile. I'll tell you, yesterday we had a script. No, that was on Monday. We had a script to produce for promo, and we didn't really discuss a drama bit of it. But my winning team, as I call them, went out there, did sing what they did, what I sent to you, and added drama. They didn't discuss that with me. When I was previewing, I saw the beats. I was very happy. And I said, thank you for the extra you added for me. I don't know. The normal thank you would have done it. But I'm sure that day they felt extra happy. I didn't give them anything. Just that thank you. Appreciation. It's important. I would have been feeling, okay, I'm entitled. Shebi is my production. If people did it, it's your job. So as parents, we should begin at home to teach our children to appreciate things by also appreciating our children. Because you paid school fees does not mean your child must come first. So if I come first, you should thank me.
Hang on, let me quickly interject. See, with the Amraba school fees we have in Abuja. No. Allow me to learn. You people are laughing. It is one thing, for a child that is struggling. You're not a child that is struggling. Some children will put in their best. You see them slugging it out. They read and read and read and read. And if there are 28 people in the class, they manage to come 26. That kind of child, I'll still pet you. I know you are struggling, yeah? But you are intelligent. You pick things easily, and everything. You are intelligent. You're intelligent. I can see you are intelligent. And you've made it a habit of, if there are 15 people in the class, you come 16th.
When they're 15, you come 16.
We're not in that era, and I don't believe in laying on of hands. Yeah? But I'm going to sit you down. We're going to have a conversation, sweetheart. Do you think I picked this money off the ground?
Before
you are excelling at everything else. You managed to use YouTube and learn this one. You used just reading something from Wikipedia to learn the other thing. But the one that teacher is actually standing inside the class and teaching you, and I'm paying
millions.
Yes.
I'm paying 6 months worth of salary to. That one you now went and failed it and came and you want me to give you a pat on the back. It doesn't work for me that way.
Okay, so let me tell you again why I'll give you a pat on the back. Circumstance why I'll do that. If I check what we call the average, and the average is above 80, I won't be angry. Reason is,
I'm not looking at position.
Forget
it. We're not talking about
the average is important
and you
to
know
me.
what?
Then another thing again I want
into...
us to learn to de-emphasize certificates and
Yes.
position. Like you said,
Yes.
my child is good at this, my child is good at that. We should begin to up their skills rather than emphasize on those cognitive content of the child.
But we shouldn't condone laziness as well.
Yes, I'm not
but
saying
let me
that.
tell you something. I want to follow up from what she just said.
Okay.
So many parents are self-entitled that their kids have to read medicine.
Yeah.
Their kids have to do this. They have to do that. And the kids are good in arts. So now we're saying the kids are failing. But you know what? Why don't we check first? Did this child want to read this? Did this child want to study this? If I come now and say, Mommy, please, I want to be a footballer. What's the next thing?
Now,
Say, Olomaje.
You are raining curses, and you say they've started sending people from the village to come after you. What I expect the parents to do is that, why don't you check what your kids are good at? If they're good at it, why don't you support them? Don't be self-entitled. Oh, my friend's child is a doctor. So she has a kid there's a doctor in the family, there's a lawyer.
You must also be mama doctor.
That's it. So now, most parents are self-entitled.
Now, at that point,
their kids have to read certain things.
At that point,
so when they start coming 16th out of 15,
can I come in here?
Too bad.
Let's be realistic.
Yeah.
I remember when my son told me he wanted to, because when you're saying this, I had to smile. When my son told me he wanted to come, in fact, he didn't tell me. He finished primary school, and then I was looking at the yearbook. His mates were putting they want to become doctors and engineers, and I saw my own dear boy he wants to become footballer. Honestly, I didn't feel that I needed a conversation, really. But at the same time, I just asked, because in my head, God forbid bad thing. It will not happen, God forbid. But I decided, and that's the thing about being an intentional parent.
Yeah.
So I said, guy, let's talk.
Fantastic.
Football is beautiful. I know he loves football. He has a passion for football. I said, but you can do both.
Yeah.
Because what if you want to be signed up by a school, by a club and things like that? It's beautiful, but which means you're actually depending on somebody else to see you and take you. What if it doesn't happen? So let's find a way. You can go to school and still do football by the side. So you can have a degree. If your football works, beautiful. Fine. In fact, guy, I'll become your manager.
Fantastic.
You know? And we had that conversation. But in Nigeria today, to tell my child, and like you said, this umbrella school fees. The father is trying to pay all this money, and then you come back and do football. Do football. And football, perhaps you don't even excel in it.
I know.
The truth is, at the end of the day, you need to have a degree at least as backup.
I agree with you.
Push comes to shove, you will get a job in the civil service.
If you break your legs, that's the end.
That's it. If you get an injury, that's it. And that's all. You haven't gone to school. So honestly, this football matter, we like it too, and we love our kids. But I beg,
go to school.
Go to school and do football.
All right, so let's move it away from the home now. We've dwelt on that a little bit and bring it maybe perhaps in work environment.
Yes.
I want to believe that spirit of entitlement is everywhere, and even in our offices, where government says we should be doing 8 hours a day for 5 days. And perhaps you're a shift worker and you do 8 hours on Monday, 8 hours on Wednesday, 8 hours on Friday. And the rest of the days, you probably don't do anything. If we begin to pay you by the hour, the way it's done abroad, that's 24 hours. Are we going to be happy? The answer will be no. So why don't we do the right things?
Do we pay?
No. Before, what I tell people is, when you signed to do a job, you knew about that job. You still pleaded, I beg to apply. Then you come in, you start complaining about the salary. Did they write in the employment letter that they are going to increase your salary from 50,000 to 200,000 after 1 year? There was nothing like that.
Let me see if I understand you clearly.
I understand.
Are you saying that the worker who does not put in 8 hours every day for 5 days is shortchanging the system? I want to be sure of what the question.
What I'm saying is that some workers do not even show up at work.
Yes.
Some do show up and do very little things. But then most of those people are the ones that will complain first if things are not going their way.
Liz, let me ask you something. If your maid is supposed to come to work and she doesn't show up and you don't say anything, whose fault is it?
It's you.
It's me.
It's your fault. Listen, I want to believe that everybody in this space right now, if we are given free reign, do what you please. Like me, I've never even bathed this morning. No. Yes, I would be lying down in bed. Somebody would have given me breakfast in bed safe, and then I'll be watching my favorite crime channel. Then when I feel that I'm smelling enough, I can get up and go and take my bath and come back and come and lie down again. And if you have employed me and you allow me to do that, it's on you. It's not my fault. Because at the end of the day, yours truly will look after myself. And if I'm supposed to turn up at work today and my boss, Mr. Olowo Koroku, is the kind of person that doesn't mind whether I come to work or not. Hey, I'll go and spend time with my boyfriend.
You know, when you said something about work,
right.
I was quiet for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I hope my boss is not watching this. My daughter said something. My daughter was 9 years old. One day she said to me, Didi, you need to get fired.
Jesus.
Your daughter said to you?
That's the kind of children I raise. I raise children who are assertive, who can speak, and I tell them what's right and what is wrong. And I always tell them to please call me to order when I do something wrong.
Fantastic.
So that they would always be there for themselves as well, to take responsibility for themselves and for me. Mm-hmm. When she told me that, honestly, my body shakes more. She said, I said, why did you say that? She said, you said we should always be honorable and take responsibility. She said, this week, how many times did you go to work? You should be fired.
Mm-hmm.
I gradually carry my bag.
And you went to work.
And I went to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you see, the thing is, and like you said, we are supposed to be an example.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be an example to our kids. And when we do wrong, accept we've done wrong. I once beat traffic, and my daughter said, oh my God, did you beat traffic? And I had to try to make excuses. And then I just said, I shouldn't have done that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I shouldn't have done that.
Let me use you, as you mentioned traffic. I want to continue from there. The typical Nigerian. I am this, we are always this and that. Do you know who I am and all that? So I think I was coming from the gym one day, and I thought when I went to driving school, orange was supposed to be get ready to stop.
Yes.
And it was orange, and I hit the road. I forgot that my papers had expired.
Mm-mm.
And here I was flagged down, and they said, Madam, why did you beat the traffic? The typical Nigerian woman. Excuse me, why did you stop me? Why? Why did you stop me? And we now started arguing. I didn't know that my paper had expired.
Yeah.
All I needed to say was sorry.
Yeah.
Double wahala for the
Just sorry. But you see, we're always self-entitled.
Mm-hmm.
Like she said, all of us have it in us. Mm-hmm. And the next thing they said, bring out
Paper.
Your particulars.
My particulars.
Yeah. Driver's license.
I check, but no, because I was going to the gym I didn't because my driving license is in my purse. So here I was, no driving license, no particulars. Particulars had expired. So the guy just looked at me and said, Madam, come down. And the next thing I did, the arrogant woman that I am, I picked up the phone. Bros, me, the typical thing. And I started saying, and he said, what happened? I said, I was stopped by the police. And he said, so what did you do? And I've said it. He said, check yourself. You are my friend. I could have told them to let you go, but give the phone to the man. And the man said, I was raining curses at him, and that was what angered him. He will have allowed me to go. And the good thing my friend did, he was top in the police, and he said, you see, it's these things you people do. You will say police is not your friend. You no get paper, you beat the traffic. Why don't we try and do the right thing? So most of the time, we tend to do the wrong things, and we start feeling self-entitled, which is very sad. It happens in the workplace, it happens at home, it happens everywhere. Because the thing here is that you go to an office in the morning, the guard there knows that you want to come in, and the guy is sitting down. And you start to wonder, who be your guy? Did they force you to get this job? Even the bartender that wants to sell fuel to you has an attitude. And for crying out loud.
The bartender?
Sorry. The guy at the filling station.
Had a good time.
Sorry, my darling. I'm telling you. Sorry. So the fuel attendant is there, having an attitude. He doesn't want to sell. When he's selling, because I had an experience yesterday. He just put the hose into the thing, and the fuel started. I was angry, not because of the fuel wasting, but it was going to put a mark on my car. Yes. And when I said it, the guy said, Madam, I beg, come and do and carry your wahala and go. And I felt so angry because one, it happened, he didn't clean it, so I had to go home and try and wash it. And I was sitting there, I said, but I paid you. And the biggest problem I have in Nigeria, you pay for service, and service is not rendered.
It's not rendered. And the people feel, okay, when you ask for it, they tell you you're on too much.
Yes.
What's your problem?
Yes.
But still moving it back to the workplace, like I said, whether you're the boss or you're the subordinate, it's always important for us to appreciate people. A lot of times in workplaces, we never really get commendations for things we do. But when you don't do the right thing, we get
everybody notices.
So whether or not we are on top or under, it's important to recognize, the success stories of other people. That way, you encourage them to do more, and very importantly, you also make others want to get to do the same thing too, so they too can be acknowledged.
Okay.
But then going back to what you talked about, traffic. Yesterday I was going home, and there was this two nuisance at my back, with siren, and another one escorts. I don't know who.
Hello,
they were.
Nigeria.
And they were going like this, just by Shagalunku here. I know that place is a bit funny.
Right, yeah.
So I wasn't really sure where they were going to. I parked my car, waited for them on the road. Just in front of them. They started shouting. I said, please, you people should come and move me out. Because, I don't know, that 1 minute pause they did, nothing really happened. I don't know who the big man was in there.
But the big man was sitting in the car.
I don't even see the person.
That's
but
it.
All of them stopped because I stopped.
Let me tell you something about big man.
90%
of the time, you find these people doing these things. The big
Their
man is not in the car.
even in the car.
It's not in the car. That's number one. Number two, sometimes the big man is like, please slow down. There comes a point in your life when speeding just doesn't work for you. And you're doing this and everything, and you're begging the guy to please, dude, we can get to this place if you do 80. You don't have to even hit 100. And yes sir. And then within 5 minutes, he's back to you drive until he's about to hit the car in front. Then he hit the brake and you do this, and And sometimes I'm like, okay, is this guy's way of getting back at you for like, why am I the driver and you're the big man, or what? I don't know what's going on. But the truth is, in my encounters with big men, you'll find that 90% of the time they are genteel, they are cultured, at least to the people they interact with outside. They will talk to you politely, nicely. Go to one big oga's office somewhere. The person that will give you attitude is the receptionist.
Yeah.
By the time you gain entrance and actually see the oga himself, you'd be shocked. Some of them will even get up to welcome you into their office, offer you a seat, speak to you nicely. By this time, receptionist has finished looking you up and down, greeted you inside her throat and other things. And you wonder what is going on. So sometimes we blame these big ogas, and it's not really their fault.
So what I am saying is...
But see, for me, you see, you are saying that most of the people that I know... You see,
what if he's not in the car?
No, but most of the time, I know they're in the car.
He was
yes, most of the time I know, like, sometimes if you see the military people, if they're not in the car,
no, military is something
the
else.
thing is covered. If that person, the guy is not in the car, the thing is covered. But when they're in the car, what do you call it?
The number plate.
Not the number plate. They have this.
I don't even know what they call it.
It's a seal.
It's like a seal. It's out. Okay. Now let me use this example. I always say sometimes that, sorry to say, most people who are in office don't deserve to be in office, because most of these people don't understand what being in office is all about.
Example.
I will use a family friend as an example. He was the Minister of Information, Emeka Chikedu. He used to drive himself to work, so it was easier for him. If you go to his house, he was doing the same things he was doing when he was removed from power. He didn't have a problem.
He resigned, if I recall.
No, he didn't resign. The normal thing, they can drop you out and then they bring other people, because they were family friends. And I looked at him and guess what? He was parenting.
Of course.
He was parenting. So, sorry to say, these other people, I don't know how they grew up. I don't know their family history. But the thing here is, I interact with so many supposedly people in office. Excuse me. They are the ones that will tell their driver to beat the traffic. That is too short.
I'm not telling you. I totally believe what you said.
Yeah, because
even though she also has a point.
This is not my reality.
Well, that is why I say that. You see, the good thing in life. You see, the good thing in life is that all of us are in different realities in life. We have different set of friends, different set of people we do business with. So now is, how do you want to know that is the position that they are in if they don't beat the traffic?
They don't queue up for anything. They go to the gas station. They just beat all the line.
One hit. You say, okay, I had an experience. I was there, and the traffic, the light was red, and the next thing I heard at the back of my car was a bang.
They move it.
No, they hit my car. They bashed my car, and the next thing, when I came out, if you see the policemen that came out, I wasn't afraid, but guess what? The Oga there, who I expected to do the right thing, was raining curses at me. And when it was time for green, they left me there and they drove off. So many people have had accidents. They've injured so many people that I know. And everybody just goes like that because it's a typical thing in Nigeria. They're entitled.
Well, there's good and bad. There's good and
Yesterday's
bad.
one, there were 3 cars on the whole, and the man was inside there because I saw it clearly. But he didn't come out. I don't know the person. He didn't come out. He didn't say anything. But I think when they looked at me, they noticed I was this one woman who was just helpless. I was looking at them. They found their way and went. But I think that if you're a big man, supposedly big man in the right sense of it, you should lead by example.
Yeah, that's it.
Very important.
You know, you should lead by example. I will respect a man who respects me, you know, and behaves appropriately, obeys rules and regulations. Somebody was telling me one day, just same yesterday, I went to the other side of our office. He said, "Why don't you do one way?" I said, "No, I don't keep bad records. I like to be obedient, so that when trouble comes my way, I will know how to do it." You know, so don't feel because you're carrying government ID card, you could do things that are wrong. You're sitting in a position, you could do things that are wrong. Mentality, spirit, you know, that entitlement spirit, when it comes, one day you're not going to be there. When you come back, those people you matched, they'll put you on the floor and match you back. So it's important. But let's see, a lot of people are writing in here. Let me see the much I can take. I saw one, I was laughing. But let me read that one quickly. She said something that we're discussing just before the program. He said, "You women gathered to discuss a sensitive topic like this without a man in
What did I say?
And she added, "Oh, I'm a woman." No, you didn't write your name, Sha. But we'll explain it to you because we already mentioned this in the morning.
Yes.
Number one, this program is meant for women. Once in a while, we bring in men. Today, we actually made effort to bring Ezra. But he called off at the last minute. If you were a man, I would have said, okay, walk across and join us, but you're not. So I'll go ahead and read the next one. All right, sisterly, please. God is aware of what you did. Even the person didn't regard it. I am Cletus. I am from Rivers. Well, I
probably the story.
Your story. Okay, good morning, amazing women. My name is Nelly Teslim. I beg to say that some things still do work in Nigeria despite our cultural antecedents. My husband is very empathetic. Oh, that's nice. He verbally appreciates me. Please help me thank Mr. Teslim and all my efforts, and that makes me want to do more. Even when I change the decor at home, he immediately shows that he's a world. He cooks when he is free, yet we live in Nigeria. Oh, he added, she added, Nice. Unfortunately, he is the opposite of a typical man where I come from. Okay. I tell you, these things truly depend on upbringing and personal training. Sure. Okay, let's take one more before we comment on that. My name is Dairo. First time I'm watching from the other side. Beautiful show. Nigerians naturally feel entitled to everything. It's wrong and we need to change it. I know this, Dairo. Dairo, thank you. You're enjoying in Benin. Go ahead. Okay, so this woman that She says her name is Nelly Teslim. I quite appreciate. Maybe we have a word of saying thank you to her for appreciating her husband. But then there's something she said here. She said when the man appreciates her, she wants to do more. I'd like us to, talk more on, feedback when people are properly motivated, which is that appreciation.
You see, I don't even understand how people are able to see effort and not appreciate it. I don't understand. You see, this Almighty God that created us, in the Christian way, Christian tradition, we are told that the more you praise God, the more you get out of Him. True. And in fact, when you are facing your deepest troubles, your deepest challenges, that is when you should praise God even more, because of the blessings that flow therefrom. We are made in God's image and likeness. True. I'm the kind of person whom I'm not looking for praise, I'm not looking for flattery, but genuine appreciation makes me feel like going above and beyond. I feel like bending over backward to do even more. I actually hate flattery. I hate undue praise. But if I know that this thing I did for this person is genuinely appreciated, the next time I'm going to do twice, 3, 4 times as much. And I don't think it's just me. So I don't understand it when men are particularly guilty of this. I don't know why men really take it for granted. I know we've said it's culture and things like that, but okay, if you are that kind of man, from today going forward, try to be more intentional. When your wife does those things that are, after all, it is her duty, say something nice. If you don't want to thank her for the meal because after all you gave the money for it, you can tell her the meal is tasty. Even if it isn't. Find something good to say about it. The thing is, most people know their shortcomings. True. So if I put a very salty meal in front of you, I'm already praying to Almighty God that you didn't notice. So if you eat it and you're like, I would have taken so much more, but I'm full, but that was nice, thanks, and I know it's salty. But the fact that you didn't throw it in my face and make me feel bad about it will make me, the next time I'm going to be more careful. Okay, I know last time this meal was salty and this man managed to, and it's not just that, every other thing. And the wives too, for the women who feel that after all he's my husband, he must do this, that and the other, saying thank you is just bare courtesy. It shows that you are aware. It shows that you know how many men's wives are looking after them. Then your husband will manage to pay school fees, give you pocket money, bring money for food, parent and everything, and you'll be collecting it as if.
Some women are bringing the money and they still get beaten.
And get beaten up and everything,
I think that, you see, I've always believed there's this hadith I learned as a 10-year-old child. It has always taken a very, I don't know, I just can't let go of it, about you are not a true believer until you love for your brother what you love for yourself. It has been my, what you call it, mantra. It has always been my mantra. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Treat every people. Time when something happens to me and I'm about to like flare up, ask myself, would I be happy if if we are conscious of that? It's just emotional intelligence, empathy. Treat people the way you want to be treated. If when I serve you something, or I'm served something, it makes me feel good, and I would love for you to say thank you. I would say thank you to you. Give.
I say thank you. My parents, I grew up knowing that every time that I eat, anytime, morning, afternoon, anytime I was given stuff. That was how my mom taught me, whether you like it, whether it is sweet, whether it is the thing you don't like. I was taught that, like me, I don't eat too many things. So I was taught that don't go to places where you visit and say, I don't eat this. If they give you, eat it. But what I did was, because I couldn't eat it, I couldn't say I didn't like it. But all I used to say was, I'm fasting. even though I wasn't fasting, because that was the only way for me not to show. Because I know it's really rude when you go, I know they chop beans. I don't eat this, I don't eat that. And there's so many things I don't eat because I react to them.
All right,
and all that. So most of the time, I think mostly it's parenting.
It's parenting. Okay, so good morning, ma'am. Just continue your discussion, ma'am. We are all men in this hard country. Regards. You didn't write your name, but someone else has written to us. Say good morning to you all in the studio. Today's topic is very crucial in our society today. Keep on the good work. And he says it's Chris writing from Nasarawa. Let's see. Good morning. We love your show. I'm Jude Ahom, a screenwriter, screenwriter from Benue State. The entitlement mentality is a huge takeoff. I think the problem starts from home. Training, not teaching your children to even say simple thank you, just like you said. All right. Thank you very much. My time is almost up. So let's quickly go to Lagos. Somebody's writing in from Lagos and he says a good topic. I enjoy that. But before we leave, I would want to say on a very short note that we should go to what JFK said. Think what you can do for your country and know what your country can do for you. If you look at it that way, the other books say that it is better to be the giver and not the taker. There's much more blessing. And don't think this person is too big to take anything. You see somebody, you're seeing money. You're not even seeing the goodness of God in the person. You're seeing money. Okay, this woman has just arrived. Something must fall. This woman has just arrived. She has to eat something. Give her. And when you give, relax, more will come out. It's been a wonderful show for all of us. Thank you for coming. And I cannot leave. For those of you who are outside, unfortunately, me, I don't have any entitlement spirit too. Thank you. It's not plastic.
I'm fasting.
Good one. Oh, you hit it, man. I love this girl. She's fasting. She's not eating.
So I don't know.
Bye.
I'm not fasting. Devon, are you really fasting?
No.